This is Tales and Whispers, where every story is felt, not just heard.
You know, sometimes the biggest, most powerful truths about our crazy financial world are hidden in the simplest stories. Today, we've got a tale for you that sounds like a fable, but believe me, it's a timeless warning about markets, madness, and, well, the psychology of crowds. Okay, so picture this: a quiet, totally ordinary village. But this village has a problem. It's not some huge disaster, just this persistent nuisance that everyone's kind of learned to live with. It's completely overrun with rats. They're everywhere, a pest that nobody wants, and more importantly, something nobody thinks has any value whatsoever. Then, one day, everything changes. A stranger, a traitor, walks into the town square and makes an announcement that is about to turn this entire village completely upside down. He shouts it out so everyone can hear him. $100 for a single rat. I mean, the villagers are just stunned. Is this guy crazy? Is this some kind of joke? $100 for a common pest? It sounds absolutely absurd. But here's the thing, it wasn't a joke. A few brave souls decide to test the offer. They bring the trader a rat, and what do you know? He pays them. Cold, hard cash. And just like that, a totally worthless creature suddenly has a price tag, and a really, really high one at that. Well, word spreads like wildfire. Suddenly, everyone, men, women, kids, they all drop what they're doing. The village instantly transforms into this massive hunting ground. Every little corner, every crack in the wall is now a potential gold mine. The village's rat problem is very quickly becoming a rat opportunity. So what started as this kind of curious side job, it quickly blows up into a village-wide obsession. Life now revolves around one single thing: catching rats. But our trader, he was just getting started. Just as the frenzy is hitting its stride, the trader shows up again with a new, even crazier offer. The price has doubled. I mean, if $100 was unbelievable, $200? That's just pure madness. And this new price, it changes everything all over again. The hunt intensifies tenfold. People are climbing onto roofs, they're digging into the foundations of their own homes, literally turning the village inside out. The hunt has become a total mania. See, this is no longer about pest control, it's a full-blown speculative frenzy. Greed has completely taken over, and rational thought is fading fast. And right at this peak, the trader makes his final move. $500. This last price hike just pushes the whole village right over the edge. The value of this once worthless thing has skyrocketed, and it's driven by absolutely nothing more than a stranger's promises. The village basically becomes a 24/7 operation. People stop sleeping. They're obsessed with capturing those last few rats. And then it happens. The supply runs out. Every single rat in the village has been caught and sold. The market is officially empty. Just when the villagers think the game is over, the trader sets the final brilliant stage of his trap. With a supply gone and desire at an all-time high, he gets ready to flip this whole market on its head. $1,000. He dangles the ultimate prize, creating this almost unbearable sense of desire. He promises a future prize that seems absolutely guaranteed to make everyone rich, and you can bet the villagers are practically drooling. And with that promise, he leaves. But, and this is key, he doesn't take the rats with him. He leaves all of them, locked up in cages, guarded by his assistant. So now the villagers are left with this burning desire, and the only supply in the world is sitting right there in front of them, just out of reach. Now for the masterstroke. The assistant quietly starts making a secret offer. He whispers to the villagers, "Hey, I can sell you some of my boss's rats for just $700 each." From their point of view, the math seems simple. You buy for $700 and you sell for a guaranteed $1,000 in just 1 week. It looks like a foolproof, can't-miss profit. And they fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. Villagers pool their entire life savings, they sell precious family heirlooms, they take out loans they could never afford, all to buy back the exact same worthless rats at this insanely inflated price. They weren't just buying rats anymore, they were buying a dream. So the assistant sells every single rat back to the villagers, and once all their money is collected, he just slips away in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. The villagers wait, clutching their very expensive rats, dreaming of the trader's return. A week passes. Nothing. The excitement starts to turn into concern. Another week goes by, and that concern turns into real dread. And then, after a month of silence, the devastating truth finally settles in. He was never coming back. The scheme was complete. The villagers were left with no money and, wouldn't you know it, a village that was once again overrun with worthless rats. So what just happened here? This isn't just a story about rats, of course. It's a perfect textbook model of a speculative bubble, what we call a classic pump and dump scheme. Let's actually break it down. This story lays out the playbook perfectly. First, step 1, you create demand. You take a worthless asset and give it a price. Step 2, you inflate that price, pumping it higher and higher to create a frenzy, that classic fear of missing out. Then, the really crucial part, step 3, you create scarcity by buying up every single rat, controlling the entire supply. Step 4 is where you sell the illusion, that promise of a $1,000 payday to convince people to buy those rats back at their absolute peak price. And finally, step 5, the exit. He and his assistant vanish with all the money, leaving everyone else holding the bag, or in this case, the rats. And that really is the bitter lesson, isn't it? When greed clouds our judgment, we stop thinking about an asset's true worth. We only see the price going up, and we chase it. Ultimately, we end up buying an illusion, a story, at the highest possible price, usually right before the whole thing comes crashing down. And that brings us to the final big question. This story might be a simple fable, but the pattern is absolutely timeless. It repeats over and over and over again. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What are the rats of today? What assets out there with maybe little to no real value are people chasing purely because of hype and the promise of a quick fortune? Definitely something to think about.